This is Anthony. Let's sit and talk. Today we're going to discuss the subject of twin flames. As we go through this is likely going to be a several video series on this phenomenon that is occurring around us. We're going to talk about what twin flames are. We're going to discuss them from a spiritual perspective, a psychological perspective, and a scientific perspective, just so we can dispel some myths and gain some insight into what exactly this term means, what it is. Most people have been misusing the term twin flame for a long time. When we watch these movies around us, TV shows and whatnot, they essentially tell you that there is a one out there for you, the one, and the one is your twin flame. If you found someone and they make you feel special, that is your twin flame, that is your one. In reality, that is not the case. I hate to break the news to you, but that is not the case. The term twin flame has been used in place of soulmate because it's a different term and it's special. Now, that being said, twin flames are real. They do exist. However, they have a very specific, for lack of a better word, game plan around them. And for the most part, twin flames are not, or does not become necessarily the romantic partner that most people try to assume that it is. So what is a twin flame exactly? What a twin flame is it is a soul, essentially. If you look back at the subject of soul and you kind of follow the soul up, the soul goes and forms into the singularity, which is God or Creator. So God or Creator created the soul, and the soul is essentially yin and yang. It is the positive and the negative. It is the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So when you incarnate in this reality, what generally happens is the full power of the soul, that the human body cannot contain the entirety of the soul. So the soul splits for two reasons. One, because that's incarnation is what the human body can allow. Also because it gives you different versions of different understandings of itself in this plane. Remember, this illusion that we live in is an illusion of duality. So when you go from singular to duality, you have opposites, okay? And what the twin flame is, some people say it's two souls that vibrate on the same frequency. Here's my belief. My belief is that the twin flame is part of one soul. You are one part of it, and the other part of it is also you. As a twin flame who has been on this journey for 7 years, what you begin to understand at least in the beginning, you believe that this is the one, this is your romantic partner, this is who you're supposed to be with. But really what you find out very early on is this person that you have this passion for that can't be explained. It's different than anything you've ever experienced. There is so much pain and conflict and drama that drawn up into these connections. It's hard to understand for people on the outside to understand why these things are occurring. What's really happening is your twin is actually mirroring to you all of your unhealed traumas in order to bring them to the surface so that you can recognize them, observe them, and heal them, okay? And generally speaking, when you meet your twin, it usually lasts for a very short period of time, anywhere from, a couple months to, probably under a year. Some cases, again, it varies, everyone's journey is different. But what happens is that person comes in, they leave, and then there's a specific, essentially, game plan that happens, which is if you are the divine feminine aspect, which is what I am, you immediately essentially start on a healing journey and a spiritual journey, a spiritual awakening. And then as you progress through that, then the other half of you, which is your divine masculine, also starts to kind of get pulled along, because what happens is it's the same energetic soul or being. So as one starts to raise, then the other eventually has to raise, because you are energy, and energy has to be balanced. So as you continue to go, you continue to balance, then you essentially pull along the masculine with you. Now, the reason this is important is because you have to understand that the other person is an illusion that it's another person. It is you. So in the beginning, the feminine goes through a state of longing and desire. I miss this person. And this takes years and years and years to get past. But as you focus on yourself, on your healing, on the spiritual awakening and the journey, eventually that obsessive thought pattern starts to subside, and you begin to understand that that other being is not another being, it is you. And as you begin to understand that, then you get to a point where you see that other being as you having the other expression of the journey in its lifetime. And because you love yourself on this healing journey, you learn to truly love yourself and know who you are. You also truly love that being. And so what you do is you essentially allow that being to have the experiences that they need to have in order for them to balance out the dynamic. Now, in some cases, twins do eventually come back together in union, in some cases, but not all. Because what also ends up happening as you begin to understand that that other being is also you, then you accept what the universe has to offer you. You accept what your soul's plan and journey is. And sometimes that may be to come together in union. And sometimes that also may be that you meet a soulmate and you have more of a regular, normal relationship on this plane. Or sometimes you stay single and you just kind of walk your spiritual path. You get past that longing and that desire to be with them, but you still always love them. They're always ever present in your mind. They're always ever present through synchronicity. They're always ever present in all aspects of life. But you just understand that is you, and you are able to look past the duality to see yourself, to kind of draw your energy back in, become balanced, become more whole, and understand. So that is essentially what a twin flame is. When people say, "Oh, I've met my twin flame," my first thought is always compassion. I'm like, "Oh, I hope not for your sake," because it is a very difficult journey. It really is, especially for the feminine in the first few years. It is extremely difficult journey. It's years of healing and longing and feeling like a part of you is gone, and it's extremely difficult. But it is also one of the most rewarding things that can happen to a being, especially as you progress further in the journey and begin to have a better understanding of what's really going on. I think this is where we'll kind of leave this off for right now. I will kind of put together a part 2. We'll talk about this a little bit more about the spiritual aspect. We'll talk a little bit more about the psychological, and then, like I said, about the science around it, to help you understand better what's actually happening on this plane. Based on what I'm starting to see now, there are a lot of people who believe they've met their twin, but again, there are very specific things that happen in the dynamic, and if these things don't happen, we're going to talk about attachment theory as well, and then kind of really what may actually be playing out, just to help folks to again understand what's going on in their world and to help them to heal and grow. So all that being said, peace, love, till I talk to you again. Also, please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next video. Have a blessed day. Thank you.